Bible Talk Wednesday.
How did you watch Star Wars The Clone Wars?
This is Bible Talk. With your host, Leader, the only one.
Your first loser.
I am closer to be better, to be the best, okay? So cut me some slack.
John's Fumbly.
Bubba Fett. Attack mode?
Yep, I see that.
Attack mode?
Yep,
Attack mode?
yep.
I'm in attack mode right now.
Adrian A.I. Indalos.
I'm a man. I fix things. Cook barbecue and fix things.
This is Bible Talk.
Well, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Bible Talk. This is your host with the most, Leader, the only one. We welcome you guys to another episode of this amazing show that we love doing it. I introduce you to the guys that are here. Mr. I Chew in Your Face. I want to be obnoxious and annoying. My duo, the one and only John's Fumbly. How you doing, bud? Hungry?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
I'm doing great.
Okay, good. And the one and only waving the flag, the one flag man, huge deal here in Dallas. Mr. Adrian Indolos. I'm assuming you went to the Dallas Open, or what's happening over there, dude? Or you just kind of someone donated to you, they gifted to you. What's the deal there?
No, I went with one of my tennis buddies, Mr. Tyler Sweatman. If you're on, what's up?
He's super cool.
Super
cool
awesome guy. He kind of texted me last minute as a surprise. He goes, "Hey, like, wanted to pay you back for all the free lessons that you gave me after drills, and I have an extra ticket to for you to the Dallas Open if you want to go." I'm like, yeah. Let me move. Let me just change my entire let me move all my appointments and make this happen. And so today we went to the Dallas Open, which is at the Southern Methodist University
SMU, baby.
campus. It was really cool. Yeah. It's a tournament that used to happen and then it went away, but now that it's back, and I got to see, I'm about to go full tennis nerd here, right? I got to see John Isner in person, and for someone that's what is he, like 6'10"?
He's gotta be like, he
6'1"?
feels like he's a 7'9" dude, bro.
Like, okay,
seriously,
yeah, this dude is so tall, and like you
Yeah.
see the numbers and you watch him on TV,
Yeah.
but then when you see him in person, right?
Yep.
And I'm a solid 5'6.5". I tell the ladies 5'7", right? So I round up. But then I watched him walk past me, and like his butt is to like my eyes, like it's like right, like I'm just looking at butt and I'm standing up. I'm like, bro,
Yep.
you are so tall.
Yeah, it's so funny. I watched him on Monday with Jack Sock playing doubles, right? And Jack Sock is tall, but
Yeah,
when I
they're
saw him
both
walking on the court, Ishner makes Sock look yay big, bro.
tiny.
I mean, unbelievable. So
Yeah.
it's so funny, man. How does the sound of his serve? Do you got him to see serving?
I
By
did.
chance? Or no?
I watched. He was walking past me to warm up.
Okay,
'Cause
gotcha.
He's playing tonight. Like
He's playing right now.
Him and Soccer playing right now. Who did I watched?
No, Ishner is playing right now. Kevin Anderson, the South African, very good player.
Okay.
Sock is playing against Taylor Fritz right after.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no. I watched Johnson and
Stevie?
yeah, Stevie
Nice.
Johnson and
Nice.
the French starts with an M.
Maximilian.
Adrian. No, it's Adrian something. Adrian M.
Oh,
I remember his first name. Anyways, Johnson lost, so
okay.
it was a good match though. 3 sets,
Nice.
2 tiebreakers. But anyways,
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
that was fun.
we're nerding out here, John, about stuff that you have no idea.
I have no idea what you guys
Zero
talking
idea.
about.
For
Tennis.
those of you guys
Why
that
not
are
now?
watching, we're obviously, my guy in the middle is the guy that does the video games with me, and the guy on the right is the guy that does tennis with me. The huge passions about that are part of my life, and so it's cool. We always get to nerd out about gaming. We'll never nerd out about tennis. So today I
That's
feel like
true.
it's fair, and I think it's overdue. So it's okay. We'll nerd out about tennis today a little
But
bit.
never again. Don't let
But
it happen.
never again.
Never
Maybe next
again.
year when
don't
Dallas
let it
Open
become a
comes
habit
back.
now.
Well, welcome everybody to the show. How are you guys doing? You guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to say hi on the chat. We want to see you. We want to see you in there active. And let me drive you guys real quick. What this is? This is a show that we do every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we just get together and talk about the Bible because we were really huge, passionate for it. We like it. We live by it. We believe in it. And so we just talk about it and want to share it with you because it's important to us. And I think it's cool when we have a space where we can do that. So, but before doing that, we typically start with some good news because, we live in a world where it's been tough the last few years. And who knows, we might jump into a third world war here shortly, right? It could get worse. We have no idea. So we're going to go with some good news. I think like Adrian already did his part, so we're going to skip him. Unless you have
Oh,
other good
really?
news,
Because
Adrian.
it has been a blessing day for
Okay,
sure.
okay, so then shoot more. What else you got? What is it
Okay,
the Lord
so
did for you today?
the Lord has done a lot for me. So like we had
Okay,
first of all had really awesome life group today, like a little church group. That was super
nice.
awesome. But leader has kind of seen this a little bit. But today was the official debut of the
Yeah,
boys varsity
sick.
poster that
Dude, it
I
looks
put
sick.
together.
It looks so
Yeah.
sick, dude. I mean,
So
sick.
like I got it printed
Amazing.
out 11 by 17, was able to distribute it to the teams,
Yeah.
and I have become the buzz around the campus. And I actually had a meeting with the assistant athletic director, the assistant AD, this morning, talking pricing and stuff like that. And I have officially been given the thumbs up, gotten the green light to do the entire sports program for
Let's
the entire
go,
school.
dude.
So
You did
football,
huge.
basketball, baseball. So I'm doing all of their team photos. So she already changed photographers for the cheer for this year. Still have to do the rest of the spring sports, but then starting this summer, that's when we're gonna do our first full year with like football, dance,
nice.
and stuff like that.
Congrats,
So
dude.
we're
That's
going.
awesome.
Thanks.
Well deserved. I
Yeah.
mean, the work
Yeah.
that you do is amazing, so it speaks for itself.
It's true.
Thank you. Yeah,
Simple.
but it's just exciting because it's the school that my fiance goes to, and so it's like we're gonna be working together, and stuff like that without actually like working together. So it's
Sure.
just it's
That's
just a nice little
perfect.
thing that we get to share. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Okay, well, good. Well, great day then. John, how about you?
A
You
great
better
day.
top that.
Oh, I
Is
can.
the Lord has been
Oh,
as
baby.
good to you as it's been to Adrian?
Oh, baby, yes.
I mean,
And
first
you
of all,
know
look at
what?
that haircut.
Mine is
That
not
haircut
superficial
is clean.
whatsoever. Okay,
That is
okay.
clean
If
haircut,
you
though.
notice, I can't hear myself at all right now. But if you notice, I look magnificent
Bro,
from this
you
side. Right,
So
so clean. Look at that
good.
fade, bro. Oh
Yeah.
man, my barber's
Oh,
shorty RBI, so good. But then on this
spicy.
side, I look like a
Can't even hear
Nazi.
me.
So
no,
that's
no, no,
fun,
no, no. It's
right?
good. No, it looks
No?
great.
Oh,
No, it's
okay. I
great.
hate
It's
it.
great.
I hate it.
No,
But
no,
like,
no.
I can't stand it.
Bro, you look phenomenal. You look
Appreciate it.
phenomenal.
Thank you.
Let me know
Thank
if your wife dumps you.
She
Would like
won't.
to get a hookup there. A
With
little. Yeah, man. You hottie, bro. What?
Oh, okay.
Why
I
not?
was so confused. I was like, I don't know.
No, he wants to hit on you, not Lauren.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
Lauren's
you.
way hotter than me, though. Objectively, I think we can all agree on this.
With this
right?
haircut, though.
So
I don't know.
if she
That's
had this
debatable.
haircut, she would be
That's
insane.
pretty
Debatable.
fire.
You'd be a
That's pretty
supermodel,
fire,
bro.
John. But that haircut's like that. That's a pretty model haircut,
I
though.
appreciate
Like,
it. I appreciate it.
yeah,
If
it's
you saw
got
the
you
like
got
the
the
trimming,
you got the swoosh.
I know. I love
thing,
the
you know?
swoosh. I love
Yeah,
the
like it's
swoosh. It's
perfect.
my favorite
It's
part.
it's perfect.
And then
see,
he
this
was
is
like, bro,
why
you want the line, bro? And I was like, I've never had the line, but he
Yeah.
gave me the line.
The line's
the
nice.
love it.
line. Okay, I normally have
Hispanic
the line.
barbers,
But
10 out of 10.
yeah. See, John, this is why you don't wear hair. You don't wear a hat on the show because your hair is
I
just so
do.
magnificent.
That's what I did last week and the week before and the week before.
And now,
And
not
now
anymore.
I didn't because I was like,
But see, this is your
"Ugh."
hat. Your hat is your fabulous hair.
I appreciate it. All right, let's move on. We've been on me for too long. I'm
Oh,
not
self-absorbed,
enough.
not that self-absorbed.
Well, good news for me, I guess. I'm playing all my singles matches. This is really fun. I lost yesterday to an 8.7 UTR, 6.364. It was a good match, but he's definitely better than me. So I'm getting to learn what I stand in singles, which is nice.
What was his name again?
Sanjit Kumar.
Did he go to Trinity Valley?
No, he went in Austin. He's a super
Okay, never
champ, a
mind.
junior super champ,
Okay.
ranked top 20 in the in the state. So
Wow.
pretty good player. I mean, you're talking about in the juniors world, John. What I just said is like
Mhm.
you're going to D1 school to play
Right.
tennis. He didn't want to play tennis in college, so he didn't play it. So he's kind of getting back to it. He's, I don't know, 22, 23, much younger than me.
Wow.
And I stood my ground on it. I play great, and so it's pretty cool. Shout
Mhm.
out to all you guys that watched that. How come that about 400 of you guys watched that, and about only like 70 watched this? Something's wrong with you guys. How come tennis
Yes.
more entertaining
It's
than
because
this?
I'm on the show,
Ah,
leader.
we need to convene after this and
I
vote him out, John, and see
My
if
views are 200 of your normal
okay,
400.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have just like 200 devices on different IPs going on at the
Nice.
same time.
It's
Nice.
Jesus Christ, baby. People don't want him.
That's
Yep.
true. Amen. Or not amen. Cancel that, but true. Well, anyway, guys, welcome everybody. Welcome. Say hi in the chat, please. Let us know that you're here. Let us know some good news from you. But let's jump into it, you guys, because we got a cool episode coming up your way. And before we do that, rules here for the show, real quick. Number one, always ask questions in the chat. Say hi, drop by. Number two, don't fight us in chat though, because it's not like a discussion board or like one of those places where we get to fight one another. This is all about love and sharing our opinions. Having said that though, Discord is the place to be. So if you want to jump in and have a conversation with us off stream where it's a little more controversial, by all means you can do that, but that's off stream. What else are we missing? I think that's it, you guys. So let's jump into it. Let me get you guys the episode for all of you guys that are gonna listen to us in Spotify, iTunes, and all the other places where the podcasts are. This is Bible Talk. This is season 2, episode number 14. We are in the Gamers Edition, part 3. Adrian, why don't you give us a little recap of the last few episodes, the last couple of episodes of what we talk about, gamers oriented type of thing, if you don't mind.
Well, we talked about how like gaming is like cool and it's like the thing to do, when you don't have a life in the real world. I'm just kidding. Um, so we talked about how important the gaming community is, and we talked about how I mean we feel so comfortable, sharing the word, sharing the gospel in church or even like with friends and stuff like that, but it's like sometimes we have like a different persona um in once we log in, right? And we talk about how our responsibilities as Christians extend to even how we play online, right? So how we interact with the randoms, how we interact with our people in the Discord and stuff like that. Like that, our duties and responsibilities as Christians does not stop just because we've logged on, right? And we kind of talked about that and just how important that is. We kind of talked about like which games are, if there is a limit to, like if it is appropriate as a Christian to be playing violent, gory games, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, that sort of thing. And also, just like online gaming, that sort of thing, and just having that community, being able to reach others. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just kind of plucking at the air right now. Talked about a bunch of stuff. John, help me out here.
I think you pretty much hit it, bro. I think you might have even gone into the future a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh,
Yeah.
did we?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
definitely did.
I think a few things.
I think we asked questions about it,
I think we hit on
and
it a
that's
little
why
bit,
we're
yeah.
talking about it. But I remember asking the questions.
I think a couple. I think one of my takeaways, maybe like an episode ago or two, is when we talk about the good things. Right, there's a Bible verse that said, "If there's any good things to think about those things," and how, for some people, and I think this is where you, John, jump in quite heavy and said, that gaming could be an issue, an idol, and so on and so forth. But in other cases, we'll also talk about how it is His creation and it's things that we get to enjoy and it's part of what He made for us. And so finding that balance where gaming doesn't replace Him, right? It's a big deal. but where we also get to enjoy it, which is amazing. So that was pretty cool to me. So additional to what you said, Adrian, which I think you said the majority of stuff, but that was a good takeaway that I got. So that should be really cool. Okay. All right. So let's jump into this week's stuff. Jen, are we ready to read or what, bro?
I stay ready. I
You
stay
s-
strapped with that Bible.
You stay strapped with the Bible. Okay, hold on. Let me go to.
Just like not
He's got
Clyde,
the
baby.
spirit with him at all times.
All right, fam. Welcome to eSword. This is the app that we utilize for the show. These guys are amazing, man. Shout out to you guys out there. This is a free app that that what they do, and well, the reason why I like it so much is because I get to compare different Bibles, but more specifically the King James version with the Strong's dictionary. Strong dictionary is the original language that it was written, Greek, Hebrew, and Aramis. This is pretty cool because we get access to the original words and to get to understand it a little bit better. Again, the fact that English sucks when it comes down to its amount of vocabulary. One word can do 10,000 things. And back in the old days, there was a word for those 10,000 things each. And so it's pretty cool we get to do that. And also for me specifically, because English is my second language, I get to choose a Bible in English that is easier for me to read. In my case, I got two choices that are very good: the basic English version, but my favorite is the International Standard Version. Not the new International Standard Version, just the regular International Standard Version. So, and why it's here. We love it. So shout out to you guys at eSword. Thank you for all that you do. If you guys can, show them some love, show them some support. I showed my iPad last time. I have it on my iPad. Church is amazing that way, by the way. Did I show you guys my notes for church? Can I do that real quick?
Show
Okay,
us.
hold on. Because this is really cool. Like, okay, so church to me, right, it's all here, right? If I lose this, dude, I am so sad. So I got my iPad here, and I got eSword. So I'm a guide you guys a little bit through. So we're going in my church right now. We're going through the book of Luke, and so I have Luke on the ISV version. I can change the versions up here, and you can see the Bible there. And then you can see reference verses from the chapter that I'm reading, as well as focus, as well as the Strong's dictionary over here for the words, and as well as commentary from somebody. I can't remember who the commentary is. The commentary is the least thing that I read. But if you guys notice, in Luke 3:23 right there, it has a little note sign. So I actually wrote a note there that I can access to by clicking on it. And is notes that I'm taking as the church goes by, so I can write those up and ask questions and visit them later, and study them again. So this thing is unbelievable. I pay for this version. This is a pro version. I don't think there's a difference between the pro version and the regular version, to be honest, because I got both of them. But I just like them so much and I use them so much. I prefer to support them. I don't know. It was like $10 and I get to have it forever. So unbelievable. eSword is the best for church notes. And by the way, I have like a system, like an inductive study system to highlight verses. So the red, I will always highlight the words that talk about God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, or any other names for him, because it's a lot easier to understand when it's about him. And then light blue is sections of verses that are important to me, and then yellows are, well, and I can highlight any color actually. Like if I click on it and I click highlight, I have a bazillion colors to choose from, so you can really code the verses however you want to, and just highlight it, and boom, there you go. So I mean, it's crazy how amazing this tool is. We get to use it here for this show, but this, I don't carry a Bible anymore. I carry this with me everywhere I go. I can do a solid devotional with this anywhere I go. Church without this to me is just not the same. I really cannot go without this. And look, if it's in my palm of my hand, I have my pen for the notes, and we look cool. Shout out to looking cool while studying the Bible. Also, my iPad is purple, y'all.
It's purple?
It is purple.
Looks
Just
silver to me.
just my logo. It's like
Oh.
it's like a silvery purple. So the case that it's in, it's light blue. But the iPad, so I'm pulling it out.
Are we sponsored by
We're not, but we should be. Shout out to Apple for doing amazing products. It's purple. It's like a silver blue purple, but it's definitely purple.
That's cool.
So look.
Oh, I
this.
see it. I see it. I see
Yeah?
it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so super cool. No, we gotta get a sponsor. Adrian, can you jump on that for
We
us?
got to get a sponsor for that Bible, bro.
The e-sword?
Yeah, e-sword.
Yeah. I don't
That
think,
was-
man, they
that
do
was the
this for
perfect-
free, man. Are you kidding me? I don't think they make money at all for this.
That's true, but the fact that people can read in Aramese and Greek
Ain't that
helps
crazy?
People it just helps because then people aren't going to get a mistranslation or anything. Like, it gets rid of the excuse of the Bible's been translated 1,000 times, so it's not valid anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that excuse completely goes out the window with Bibles like that.
Do you have your e-sword there, Adrian, or no? Shame of you.
I use your e-sword because I have all my Apple products that I'm trying to hold up at the same time, but I can't because I have too many.
Listen, man,
I should be sponsored by Apple.
last
Yeah,
thing that I
sure.
gotta say
That's a lot
about
of
e-sword.
products.
Last thing I gotta say about e-sword that it was mind blowing to me. I got this iPad recently. It's newer because I used the Pro, which is much larger, and the Mini I wanted to have a small one to take care of easy. Well, I downloaded all the apps. You know how you transfer all your stuff and everything that that's something that Apple does very well, right? Whatever shows up in one app, it shows to another one. Crazy, dude. All my notes, all my highlights, everything transfer between devices. And so that's huge. Imagine you having like 20 Bibles, but all of them, as soon as you highlight one thing, gets highlighted in all of them. You know what I mean? As soon as you add a note on one of them, the note gets transferred to all of them. So I think all those benefits, man. eSword, you guys rock.
I'd
Okay,
be curious to know the story behind eSword, like who started it, why it's free.
good question. I have no
Let's
idea.
get e-sword to jump on this show.
One
Let's
day,
do it.
eSword, if you ever watch, dude, whoever you are, come on over. We'd love to have you guys. Okay. Okay. What are we even reading, you guys? I went such on a tangent there.
1 Corinthians 10,
Yikes.
verse 23.
Is it really?
I think so.
1 Corinthians. You are so right, sir. 1 Corinthians, not Chronicles.
Chronicles.
Let's be correct. Chapter 10, verse 23. John, do the honors, man.
All things are lawful. Oh, sorry, I should keep going. But not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up.
Oh, John, by the way, what version are you reading?
ESV. English Standard
ESV.
Version.
Look at how big the difference of a word is. Can you read it one more time, please?
All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up.
I got permissible in mind. What you got on yours, Adrian? What are you reading on? What do you normally read on, Adrian? Do you know?
The international version.
Oh, okay.
NIV.
Same. Oh, NIV. What does NIV read? Do you have it in there by chance?
I can pull it up in just one second. I was trying to find some contact info for eSword, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. In the meantime, I wanna pull up the original language because it's such a different word. And the ISV, you guys can see it here. And my version says permissible. Let's highlight this word since we can fancy out all this stuff. Let's make it orange because it's a different word. Orange here, orange there. Let's jump to the King
Orange
James
everywhere.
version. Orange everywhere, man. Let's go. Here is 10:23, Adrian. Lawful, right? G1832 existy. Third person singular present indicative of a compound of two words. So we're gonna have to go and read them. Neuter present principle, the same with or without another word. And personally, it is right. Okay. Through the figured idea of being out in public, also lawful that let X make. So let's see, there's two words. It's a primary. What a complicated word this is. No wonder. A primary preposition denoting origin, where it comes from, where it comes out of, literally or figuratively. Direct or remote, abundantly, very high, blah, 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 blah. And first person singular. So it's a combination of some kind of tense and also understanding that this coming in first person singular, meaning I can do these things, right? That applies to ourselves. Pretty interesting.
I have
Very
no idea
broad.
what any of that meant. I got so lost.
Okay, so for you guys to understand, right? Like this is one of the things that it's good to if you guys can take a class on inductive Bible study, they will teach you how to because something as complicated as this, where you have three or two different words that this word come from, and you must compound them, both of them, means that you have to understand kind of like tenses, but in English is almost two words typically or three words when we're compounding like a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
In Hebrew, Greek, and Aramese, one word can be a composition of multiple words. And so this one is a compound of two different words, ikiksex, which I don't know how to pronounce, and I me, which by the way, you can see this other tenses in all its languages, right? Sorry, in all its tenses, 1488, 1498, 1511, and so on and so forth. So one part of this word compounds somewhat of an action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or description, and the other one typically is the tense, typically, but not all the time. In this particular case, saying it's a form of first person shooter. I mean singular, sorry. It's an FPS. And so this means that we get to own this, which my version read everything is permissible. So I guess a good way to say it would be everything I can do and is lawful, right?
So in NIV, I have the
Mhm.
right to do anything.
Yeah, see?
The right.
Yep. That's not a bad translation either. So interesting compound. What's up, Travis, by the way? What's up, baby? What's up, man? We miss you. We love you, dude. Hope you're out there for prayers after. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? Because this is one of those Bible verses that can be so controversial, not to me, but I think to a lot of people it can be. Okay, John, so I'm gonna throw you on the spot. How come everything is permissible, lawful? I got the right to do absolutely everything. What in the world does that even mean?
Because
Can I kill people? Can
yeah,
I steal?
you
Can
can.
I lie? Can I
You
cheat
may.
on my wife?
Absolutely.
Wow, how does that work?
Well, technically, right? So Jesus Christ paid for your sins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he paid so much more that it's impossible for us to ever sin enough that we will ever use up the value of his sacrifice, right? Um, so all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up, right? So if you're building a house, right, you can build the house however you want. You can build it wherever you want. You can build out of whatever you want in any way, right? But if you build a stone house on sand and the tides come in, your house is going to collapse, right? So you can do whatever you want, whatever you enjoy, but if you're not doing things in a morally acceptable way, right, you're going to end up hurting yourself more than anything else, right? Which ends up being what sin is. So, um, like, I can cheat on my wife, right? But I'm not going to have that incredible, amazing relationship with my wife anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's really going to mess things up. It's going to hurt really bad, which is what sin is. Sin is just us doing things that hurt us, and God doesn't want us to do that. It's us pulling a pot of boiling water down on ourselves, not knowing that we're pulling a pot of boiling water down on ourselves.
So,
But I have a
Adrian.
question, leader.
Okay.
Just following up on that.
Sure.
So like obviously in the NIV version, it's like I have the right to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like can one say, let's stick on the topic of like cheating on your spouse, right?
Sure.
Can one say you have the right to do that? Like, and like how would you consider that a right or like a
Yeah.
lawful thing to
So,
do?
so I think where it comes down to, and this is my opinion, I could be totally wrong, and I'm curious to see what you guys say about this. I think this is more about free will than anything else. And I think it's one of those concepts that are quite interesting and complex, right? Because we were giving the ability to choose and do whatever we want to do and attain to our consequences. But it's biblical. Free will is part of what God gave us and how he created us. And so the way that I see it is, well, you know, God has an ideal plan for your life, and he has a path for you to follow, and for you to be a X, Y, and Z and do His will. But in the end, we are our own bosses of our lives, and we can choose to do whatever we want to do. And because He has given us free will, then we have the right to do whatever we want to do. Mind you, the consequences, though. And I think that's the second part of this Bible verse, right? Where it says, hey, but not everything's helpful, but not everything builds up, right? It's not even like, I like how Paul is not even talking about like, dude, you're gonna fall into sin and die, right? It's almost like if you're talking to Christians and you're doubting, can you go to the movies and hang out? Is that a good thing and a right thing to do? This, that, and the other, where it's not in the Bible or whatever the case may be, right? Or go to, I don't know, non-Christian music concert, whatever the case may be, right? I think this is more of a, hey, reminder. You have the free choice, right? You can do whatever you want to do. Understand that some things are going to be good for you, and a lot of things are not going to be good for you. So stick with the things that build you up, that are helpful to you. That's the way that I see it. Um, Thoughts on that, you guys? Is this how you guys see it too, or do we see it a little bit different?
I think you're completely right that it is about free will, right? Because God gave us the ability to choose between following His will and following our own will,
Mm-hmm.
because He didn't want us to be robots. You know what I mean? Like unfeeling, loving robots, right? Like if He made it so that we couldn't choose to do our own thing, right? Then that's all we would be, is a robot programmed to love Him, which is not what He wanted. He wanted to have a true, genuine relationship with us. So He had to give us the ability to not choose Him in order for that relationship to exist properly, right? Because if He exists, then that means that it's impossible for Him to create a being that is programmed to love Him without choice, right? Because just the way the way He is, means that existence, like it's a format, like He Himself is a format of how existence has to work, right? So
Mm-hmm.
He can't create a being and have a relationship with that being and it be pre-programmed to only love Him. That wouldn't be a
Mm-hmm.
true, genuine relationship because of the way He is, if that makes sense.
Okay, it's a
It's a
really,
really
really good point.
ridiculous concept.
No, it's a great point. Now, this is here for gamers. So, Adrian, how would you apply this in your gaming life, right? How does this Bible verse influence you in your gaming life as a Christian?
So like in regards to gaming, right? In free will, I kind of almost attribute it to almost just like basic human needs and human rights, to where like, like of course you have the right, you have the free will to talk trash, to be very negative,
Mm,
right? And there are some people
toxic.
who build their platform
Mm-hmm.
in, for that,
Mm-hmm.
and is it necessarily right? Are you, necessarily building anything worthwhile? Like, and is it, we talked, okay, since I kind of failed my job earlier at the episode, like we did talk last week about um the oh my goodness, just
The
being,
Bible.
just having, we did talk about the Bible, right? But we talked about specifically continuing to like, are we building something earthly, or are
Uh-huh.
we building
Treasures in
something,
heaven, right?
treasures in heaven, right?
That's right.
And that kind of applies to what you do online when you're
Sure.
interacting with other human beings, right? So of course you can talk trash, you can curse, you can be very demeaning. Obviously the popular thing, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on your channel, but it's like, go kill yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it always blows my mind that we've gotten this far as a society, because like even when I talk trash, back in the day whenever we were battling Charizard versus Blastoise, like I wouldn't even think that like those words would even come out of my mouth or any of my friends' mouth. So like for it to go like this far, like, like you have the right, but is it beneficial? Are you
Mm,
building something, Is your platform are you gaining popularity? Are you getting all those followers because of, something that is positive, or are you just doing it for clout? Are you just doing it for the sake of, promotion or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or is it entertainment? Like, again, treasures on earth or treasures in heaven? Like, what are you building?
Mm. John, I want you to piggyback right of what Adrian said, because Adrian nailed it. But I'm curious more of a specific thing, and that'll be the games that you choose to play, which is something that you were talking about, Adrian, a little bit earlier. Do you think that this verse can impact that decision? And if so, how?
Yeah. I mean, so when I think of like what games I should play and what games I shouldn't play, right? Well, so, okay, so let's dive into this, right? So Adrian was talking about how people have the ability to say, go kill yourself to someone else, right? Like, but that's coming from somewhere inside of them, right? Like, that's not just something that they create, that's something that's already inside of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's already a darkness in their heart, there's already sin in their heart, and that's what's coming out of their mouth because that's what's being poured in, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if you're absorbing content that is putting that kind of hate and anger into your heart, then that's of course what's going to be poured out, right? So like if you play a game with excessive nudity and it's ridiculous and those are the kind of things you're letting in, those are the things that are going to come out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like the old GTAs, I will never play them, I refuse to play them because it's the same thing, like there's nudity everywhere, right? Like it's just violent, pointless violence, right? There's no struggle, there's no objective. It's just to be violent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you go on Steam, you'll find games about with sexual, like that are focused on sexual content, right? Like it exists in the gaming community, right? So if I play that, right, how is that different from porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the kind of stuff I'm putting into me. So that's the kind of stuff that's going to come out when I play League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
So I hope that kind of answers that, right? Because I can go and play that game, but it's going to end up hurting me. It's not going to build me up. It's not going to build me up in my ability to play League of Legends at all, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if I start cussing someone out, I'm never going to get better at the game, right? In
Yep.
fact, that's like number one rule. You lose your attitude, you lose the game, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a given, right? So if you want
Yeah.
to improve, don't lose your attitude first of all. But
Mm. No, well said. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. I was curious and see if this verse could have an impact on the choices that we do, even for simple things as what games am I playing with, like you just said, John, or who am I playing with, like you said, Adrian. Which I think it's pretty cool, right? If it's building you up and if it's something that helps you, then there shouldn't be a problem. If it's doing the opposite, then what are you doing, bro? Right? So I think that's super cool. Okay, cool. So let's move on to our next verse. That is in Ephesians. We're reading a lot of Paul today. Huge fan of Paul. First person I gotta meet after meeting Jesus in heaven.
oh, there it is.
Sorry. Verse 10 as well, John.
Ephesians, what chapter?
5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, verse
Verse
10
10.
and 11. Yeah.
10 and 11, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no
Mhm.
part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them.
For what they are. Interesting. Your version is totally different than mine. Mine reads, determine what pleases the Lord and have nothing to do with the unfruitful actions that darkness produces. Instead, expose them for what they are, not just expose them, but also show them what they are. What does yours read, Agent?
So NIV says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.
Mm. Okay, so in the notes here, we precisely added, let's talk about online gaming and online chatting and community, right? I do believe that it's really, really important to draw a line. Where do you believe the line needs to be drawn from a Christian standpoint, right? um I really can't. I mean, this is my own experience, so I guess I'll share you guys a little bit more of me here. No, it's not meaning to be boasting or anything. It's just kind of how I do things. the discourse that I join is with people that or the people that I play with is people that I've gained a respect and that I respect as well, regardless if they're Christian or non-Christian. And a really good example, and a shout out to you boys out there, the OG friends that were playing Among Us, and like Kyle, Riot, Jess, all you guys. Um, it's a pretty cool community. A lot of them are not Christian. I would say majority of them are not Christian. Probably were the couple Christians in there, John, probably, and Fluffy. Shout out to you, Fluffy. But it's really cool because when we play, if it's me and John or Fluffy, they won't swear, for instance, while we're in the lobby with them. They stop swearing. And if they do, they apologize right away. They understand that is something that we just don't do, and they're willing to enjoy time with us, sacrificing a little bit of who they are. Because, some are Canadians, man. Canadians swear left and right. They're just, that's normal to them, right? And I
Shout out
have
to all my British friends.
and to be honest, man, to be fair, I have no problem hanging around with someone that swears. I dislike it very much. But if I get to impact your life and show you God's love through my life, I don't mind sitting with you. Now, if I want to choose to play with you all the time, more than likely not. And I think hence why they adjust that way. And I love them for that. And I think that's awesome. And it's just my only hope that as we keep building our relationship in that community, they can see more of God, less of me, and then one day maybe they'll come by and say, hey, I won that, right? I want what you guys have. I don't have it. I try to find it through weed or parties or boyfriend girlfriends, and it's just not there for me. And that's when we probably will open up a little more and go, hey, God is the answer. So I take it that way, and I think it's awesome. I have not had the opportunity to, other than that, right? Whenever they do start, I go, hey, 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 I'm here. And they go, oh, sorry, so sorry. But I think this Bible verse goes farther into saying even, expose what they are. To be honest, I haven't had a chance to do that, nor do I think that would be comfortable doing that. That'll have to be the Holy Spirit doing it, to be quite honest, because I feel like I have no authority to be able to tell somebody um, that they're being exposed for being sinners, right? I just feel that I am nobody, and that I am such a sinner myself that don't deserve His grace. That I don't really know how this would even work. So I might need help from you boys. I don't even know if you guys have done this. How have you done it? If you can have an example of it, but it's part of this verse, and so I am not the case for that. I'm just taking the first part of this verse to heart. I just don't know how to do the second part, to be honest. Um, but I do know what pleases the Lord, and that's living the life that He wants us to live through His Word, through a relationship with Him, through salvation in Jesus Christ. So that's simple. How about you boys? What do you guys think about this?
I mean, so for me, I guess even though, so it's easier when I know if the other person is a Christian, right? And then if I know kind of where they stand in their faith and in their walk with God, it's easier for me to hold them accountable when they're being sinful, right? Even if they think they're being silly, right? Especially like, right, being a coach to a high school varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've sat down with a couple of them, and some of them are very, like, very faith based. Like they do believe in God and all this stuff, but sometimes boys being boys, they get rowdy, and they might say some things that I'm like, hey, and I just look at them, right? And that's kind of like the cool thing about like being a mentor, both like athletically but also like spiritually, right? When we have that connection, because they know, right? And you just look at them and you're just like, dude, and they're like, yeah, you're right, that was my bad, and I can do that like with friends, right? Like not so much leader, because leader is pretty outstanding, whether he's
Oh,
holding a
that's so
racket
not
or
true.
holding a
That's so
controller,
not true, but I
right?
appreciate it.
I mean, you're a pretty good example of faith. You definitely live. I feel like in my 5, I guess going on 6 years of knowing you and working with you, you have exemplified, like, you put your faith into your work, There's only been a handful of times where I've seen you kind of like start steaming out of your ears because you're so frustrated or so upset, and I'm like, I never want to be on the receiving end of that. uh, but
And you
you
saw that
know, like,
recently, but also,
I did, and that was one of the few times that
yep,
I've ever seen you, get
that
that
is true.
visibly upset, and because I think you
Side
just
note, before you even move, guys, you gotta understand how amazing of a friend Adrian is. He like worried about me and noticed it right away, and he was approaching and asking, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? You know, um, I'm here to help." And although it was in a very bad moment and it had nothing to do at all with him, the fact that he did that for me was amazing. So continue, Adrian. Shout out
well,
to you.
appreciate it, thank you. But honestly, like, it's just one of those things that, like, if Leader or John or any of my friends that, right, if I know that they're better than that, and either they just get caught up in a moment or they lose their temper or whatever it is, like, it's like, hey, like, just as a reminder, like, you're better than that. Like, it's like I don't even have to be all like biblical. It's like, oh, like, remember your body is a temple of the holy. Like, I don't have to do that, right? Like, as brothers in Christ, I'm just like, hey, like, you're better than that. You know better than that. Like, take a breath, take a lot,
Hmm.
and you're better than that. And so, there's been a few times where it's someone that I don't know as well, but I respect, that I'm like, hey, that wasn't very cool. And I don't necessarily make it about the Bible or about like being Christian or whatever, but I'm just like that wasn't cool, and I just kind of say it in a calm, way, to where I'm not trying to attack them, but I know that they're better. And so I would want to hold them accountable, just like I would expect you guys to hold me accountable. If I'm having an off day or if I say something that's just kind of like off a whim and like it was inappropriate, I want you guys to kind of hold me to that same standard. So, it's kind of what I do. I think it's kind of just the little things that we do that kind of have a ripple effect, because if, we bring that to someone's attention, they're like, oh, you know what? I need to be more conscious of that. And then all of a sudden they make that change. So you never know. The end.
You're muted.
I
Am I supposed to say something or?
I
Uh,
was saying, John, it's like Adrian, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Do you agree with that, John, or do you have anything to add, or can we
I mean,
move
I
on?
don't think anyone could
Literally,
ever disagree, but I think something that's important is it says, for me at least, on this part, it says, and try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, you
huge
kind of
deal.
got in. It doesn't just specify in bad situations, like when your heart feels bad, like when you see something bad going on. It means and try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord, just in general, right? Like if you see
Hmm.
something going on, ask the Spirit, ask the Lord, how should I respond to this? What do you think of this, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then he'll kind of guide you in those situations, I think, because God's not going to want you to. I mean, he might. I won't say he's not going to, but he's, for the most part, his objective is for you to witness to those around you, right, and to share the love of Christ to those around you. So if you can do that, I'm sure that's his objective, right? If he tells you to not be friends with them, you should stop being friends with them, right? Like if he tells you to continue being friends with them and share the love or gospel, right, you should keep doing that, right? But um, you know, yeah, just says take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. So, you
Hmm.
know, explain what's going on, right? Like if you see someone being bullied, like a friend being bullied by other friends, you should say something, right?
Hmm.
Like you need to expose darkness, right? Like other people that are not Christian don't have the Spirit of God to guide them, right? Their whole objective in life is to do what makes them feel good. That's it,
Hmm.
right?
Mm.
That's their will, right? Our will is to do God's will. And so, I mean, that's not like we're better than anyone else, right? Because we're sinful, we're disgusting, and we do our own thing all the time, right? Because we're Christians, but we're still people, right? But when we see that, it's our job to be like, hey, this is too much. This has gone too far, right? Like whatever it may be, because no one else might know that, right? Or maybe they do have, Christian background and they know what they're doing is wrong. It's time to reinforce that, though, and going, hey, we got to stop this. This is way too far. This is too much, in whatever
Hmm.
situation it may be.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Yeah, well said. I agree. Okay, good. Well, good. That wraps up that verse, I think, quite well from all the sides of I mean, this is a lot too.
It
This is
is.
a good, and maybe even this chapter is a good chapter to study. So that's good. Good job, you boys. Okay, so let's go and
Boys.
jump to our last
Men.
man.
Men.
Okay, good job, gentleman, gentleman. Let's do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's jump to our last verse for the series. We're gonna finish Gamers Edition with this Bible verse, and this is in Psalms chapter 90. We still didn't read chapter 119, John. We're still I don't know what's going on there, but that's okay, I guess.
Am I
Chapter
supposed to read?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Chapter 90, verse 12.
Chapter 90, verse 12. So
Mhm.
teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom.
Mm. I love this verse, man. Like, this is one of those things, right? And you can read context, Mr. Adrian, with the context. Who can know the intensity of anger? Because our fear of your matches your wrath. So teach us to keep account of our days so we may develop inner wisdom. One of those things is like, you guys, we gotta understand that we live on the edge here, right? Like, we're at the mercy of our creator, and that's a huge deal, right? He could snap his finger and then we have another Sodom and Gomorrah, we have another flood, we have another, you name it.
No, we
um
wouldn't have another flood because he
that's true.
promised
He
us.
said no. He said no. That's true. But
God, don't break promises.
that's true. But if he would want to, he could do something similar, or he could let fire,
No, he would do
rain
something
from.
else. It just wouldn't be
Yeah,
a flood.
it won't be a flood. Good point. Good point. Good point.
So for
And
those who can't swim, you guys are good. You guys are fine.
we're good. We're fine. Phew,
Just gonna need
escaped.
lots of sunscreen.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, just in case it's fire, because he tend to do that a
Global
lot.
warming, asteroid, whatever.
So in our notes, we wrote down, God has given you, enjoy what God has given you and use it for his glory and grow in wisdom because our days are numbered. This flesh, right? Our flesh is going to die. It gets older every day, man. Like, look, hair is going away,
Dude, my back is growing older than my flesh right now.
Bro, I'm telling you, right? Like, it's one of those things that you're like, dude, except John. John is a force of nature. He just
John's
looks,
gonna look like he's 22 for the rest of his life.
No, man, look at this hairline.
dude, it's great.
No, that's
No,
just how
cheating,
just how your
dude.
barber did it.
Wait,
No,
That's
wait,
just
wait.
a style.
Look at it. See it? It used to be up here. It used to be like up here.
Wait, how old are you, John, though?
I'm 27, man.
You still look phenomenal for 27. Are you
I
kidding me?
appreciate it. It's
You know what? It's that
those
it's that
Dutch
Florida
genes, baby.
air. It's that Florida salty
The
air.
humidity,
The
the
moisture,
humidity,
yeah, for
moisture,
real, though. For real.
natural.
You go like, they say, okay, that what's the conquistador's name that was looking for the Fountain of Youth? I can't remember what his name was. It's in Florida,
Christopher-
apparently. No, not Christopher Columbus, that
Okay.
genocidal maniac. I hate that guy.
It
No,
was-
no,
it
no.
was
There's
the
some
Spanish guy, right?
conquistador. Yeah, there's some conquistador that came to Florida looking for the Fountain of Youth. Turns out we found it. It's the Everglades, baby. You just go swimming in that bad boy,
And
pick all
you're
the algae
set.
off you. Yeah, you
Nice.
Ponce de
Damn.
Leon.
Ponce de Leon. That's it. Thank you, Adrian.
But
You're
no, you
welcome.
said it so wrong, John. You ruined it. Adrian
Ponce de
nailed it.
Leon.
Ponce
Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de
Ponce
Leon.
de Leon.
There you go.
Ponce de Leon.
We're gonna leave the Spanish duties to Adrian from
That's
now
a good
on, John.
idea.
That's okay.
Wait, why are you leaving it to me? You're the Hispanic one.
because you have an accent to it, so it makes it sound cooler.
That's true.
For me,
Wait,
it's
he doesn't have an
Ponce de
accent.
Leon.
Versus your
Yeah,
natural
but listen
accent?
to it. Listen to it. Ponce de
Adrian
Leon.
has no accent.
No, he
You just
does
sound
have
like
an
an
accent.
American.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I can throw something of Texas twang in there if you need me to. You know,
Twang, y'all.
twang. Yeah. Get my
I mean,
boots
I can
and my jeans and my
Talk like a
truck.
meth head, because that's what Floridians sound like. But
Before we go to the depths of the conversation that never ends about nothing at all in this Bible talk,
it's true. We have the capacity to do that too.
I want to close out this series
Go
by
for
saying,
days.
you guys, listen, man. Enjoy what God has given you as long as you're putting him first, and glorify his name on everything that you do, whether it's tennis, whether it's work, whether it's chilling with friends, whether it's gaming, whether it's online gaming. Whatever you do it for his glory and for him, because he'll bless you for it and your life will have meaning in what you do. So I'll close with that. Gaming, in my opinion, is not bad at all. On the contrary, I think it's phenomenal, especially for some people that have issues socializing with people and things like that. This is a very good tool to jump into. I love the competitive side of it. I want to see in the Olympics. I think it has a bright future. Esports is awesome. Most of the games are amazing, and so I'm never against it. I don't think I'll ever will be, but I do believe for some people it might be a no go, especially like John said, when they substitute gaming for God and that becomes an idol, then that's a no. I don't care if you're just playing Minecraft, which might be the harmless or game that you could probably play or whatever. I don't know. Um, keep God first and then enjoy it. This is creation. So those are my final thoughts. Final thoughts from you boys. What you guys got from this? Do you guys like this series? I think it was a cool series,
Yeah.
man.
I always enjoy
different.
talking about video games because
Me
it's one of
too.
my
I mean,
favorite hobbies.
I mean, I'm surprised it's only 3 episodes. I feel like
Yeah.
we could keep going, honestly.
Yeah, we can keep going. I think I have a thought
Yeah.
in mind I would like to go to.
Hmm.
But I believe that we
hint?
could have done like easily 5 episodes.
A
If
we,
it was-
little hinty.
Yeah, a
hint?
little teaser, little
no
teaser
teaser,
trailer for
no
the next
teaser,
series.
no teaser trailer,
No?
no teaser. You have
Aw.
to be here Wednesday 9 p.m.
Aw.
Central Standard
Dang,
Time
bro.
to find out.
Uh,
That's how
Oh,
we
that
do
hurts.
things, man.
And
But
we
listen,
have the in, everybody. Like, we're the guys that know before everyone else, and we don't even get to know.
and we don't even know.
nope,
Yeah,
nobody
right.
knows.
We don't even know.
Nobody. Hey, listen, man. We're definitely gonna talk about
Except God.
something.
God
so-
knows.
There you
Something
go.
that
God
is
gives the leader.
very, very
So-
cool, that is interesting, and it's found in one book, and that's called the Bible. So stay tuned for that. Look at that. How about for a teaser?
So cleaned up.
We love you guys. Thank
Solid.
you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys so
Oh, I
much
didn't-
for
oh, we
being
didn't
here.
get to do
Oh,
our
sorry.
closing thoughts.
I forgot. I already
Rude.
forgot. Okay.
Rude. Oh
Adrian-
my gosh.
He wants to go play some Apex. He's gonna try to.
Yes,
beat-
I
please.
know.
New season.
That new
What you
season
got,
for
Adrian?
Destiny comes out in 2 weeks, so I'm still waiting on that.
Yeah.
I've already moved all of my work schedule to incorporate for the new DLC coming out. But anyways, so my final thoughts for, I guess, part 1 of our the first series of gaming is basically this: is gaming is awesome. I love the community that is growing by the millions, every single day, and I'm very excited for what is happening. However, please go outside and enjoy God's creation, right? Get some
Shower.
sun, get some vitamin D. I mean, the shower's still indoors. Like, I want you to go
That's true.
outside, experience God's creation as He made you. So that's the only thing. So gaming is awesome, but get some sun, please.
Talk about that for final thoughts.
talking
John,
about
final
me.
thoughts?
You see how pale
Yeah,
I am
yeah,
compared
yeah,
to my
look at you.
surroundings?
Yeah, you're transparent. You're in white.
Wait, John's there. All I see is floating headphones.
Yeah, it's Casper.
and a
uh,
cool painting.
Yeah, that's my favorite painting. I've had that since I was a kid. I love it. It's my favorite.
Nice.
So something that popped into my head was wisdom is found in the fear of the Lord, right? If you're not afraid of this, like what God would do to you, right? Because you're a child, so He's going to punish you. If you don't kind of run your thoughts and your words through the filter of, will this be pleasing to God, or is this going to make Him mad? You know what I mean? Whether He's going to, because He's slow to anger, right? But like still, right? Like if you filter everything through that, you'll become wiser and wiser. And that's something I have to work on obviously, because I'm not that wise, right? I'm like super dumb, really unwise, make terrible decisions all the time, say the wrong things all the time, right? So I'm talking to myself here. So, but yeah. Thanks.
That will do. We'll go with John's dumb, and we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Who am I to go against? the
You
truth?
left the camera on me for wait, what? You left the camera on me for a really long time and started feeling a little awkward.
It's okay.
no,
we
stop.
can just
Get it off
do it
me.
all the time.
Stop it. I don't like that. I don't like that. No,
we're fine.
No,
We're
no,
fine.
no.
We're fine. We're
No,
fine.
I don't
Hold
like
it.
it.
wish
Hold
it
it.
feels bad.
I
Breathe.
wish
John,
I wish
breathe.
the StreamYard would like zoom in. Like,
Yeah, look at
Not
him. He's
just,
about
not
to
just
hard
put his
batting
screen,
it.
but like you got
I
to
need a
zoom
bag.
in on his face too.
Yeah. Yo, my dad asked when are we gonna go paintball.
I would love to go paintballing. I love paintballing.
Anytime, Mr. Maldonado.
Couple
you tell me
Saturdays
when
from
and
now,
where.
man. I think we should.
Let's meet in the
go.
before
middle.
season starts, Adrian.
Let's go to like
I
Louisiana.
probably can get all the teams, like maybe the Saturday before season starts. Get all the teams to go in the morning.
Preseason get together.
Preseason get together.
Dang,
Preseason
bro.
kickoff
Right.
party.
I want to go.
We don't want
Let's
John.
go.
He don't play tennis, so it sucks. That's okay.
but it's on a
Yeah.
Saturday. So I
So,
can't.
yeah, right. We're gonna do a preseason get together, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
slide, injure my ankle right before the season starts.
My dad, Adrian, don't do that. My dad says that's what my wife does. She really enjoy God's creation, but more than that, she rejoices God in herself. Hey, let's
Amen.
go. Look at that. We have a deal. Boom, boom,
Let's
boom.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go,
Okay,
Dad.
fam. Thank you guys so much for watching. We can't wait to see you guys next Wednesday. Until then, see ya. The Bible Talk Wednesday.
Have watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
This is Bible Talk. With your host, Leader, the only one.
Your first loser.
I am closer to be better, to be the best, okay? So cut me some slack.
John Stumbly.
Boba Fett. Attack mode.
Yep, I see that.
Attack mode.
Yep,
Attack mode.
yep.
I'm in attack mode right now.
Adrian A.I. Indelos.
I'm a man. I fix things. Cook barbecue and fix things.
This is Bible Talk.